Hello, I'm Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, if you're taking this, will it interfere with taking that? When is it okay to mix and match medications? Then, will your investments ensure a restful retirement? We'll add up the cost of stepping down from work. Plus, we'll visit a regal house that's very much at home with nature. And has Social Security run its course?
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. We take our medications to help our health, but what if they combine to do more harm than healing? Dr. James Campbell is here to interact with us about drug interactions. Dr. Campbell is the Director of Geriatrics at the Senior Health and Wellness Center at Metro Health, and he's a longtime friend of our show. Thanks for coming again, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.
Can drugs that are meant to help us hurt us?
Virtually every drug has both positive effects and negative effects. And you have to be very careful, particularly with multiple drugs, because the interaction between drugs can take drugs that were otherwise helping you and make them actually dangerous.
So can you give us an example of that?
One of the sort of very common examples, there's a drug called Coumadin or warfarin, which is used as a blood thinner to try to prevent strokes. Obviously a powerfully good outcome.
Sure.
The problem is something as simple as the medication that you're taking for a urinary tract infection, a simple, really easy antibiotic, all of a sudden your Coumadin becomes dangerous, your blood can become dangerously thin, and you could run into trouble.
Shouldn't our doctor or our pharmacist warn us if that is a problem or potential problem?
There are definitely ways that you can improve the ability to help your doctor and your pharmacist know about all the different drugs that you're taking. Part of the problem is that people go to multiple different doctors and maybe they're getting multiple different prescriptions that are in different computers. So if you clear all of your doctors, all your prescriptions through your primary care physician, so that one physician knows all the medications you're taking, they can look for interactions. The other problem is pharmacies, patients oftentimes, in order to save money, will fill their drugs at 3 or 4 different pharmacies because they'll get a better deal on their antibiotic at this drugstore and a better deal at their other medicine at this grocery store. The problem is then those computers don't talk to each other, and so the interaction doesn't get picked up.
Now, let's go beyond drugs. Can a medication you're taking interact with food or vitamins or something like that?
Again, we'll pick on Coumadin just because it's a very common drug. Even the choice of whether or not you have a lot of green leafy vegetables changes how active that particular drug is.
Wow.
In the same way that something as simple as grapefruit juice can make your cholesterol lowering agent ineffective.
And you were mentioning to me that going to a vitamin supplement store could affect your drugs.
Yeah, a lot of the various supplements that are out there can affect the potency of your drugs, either making them less potent or more potent, and actually many of them can interact with drugs. So as you're informing your physician about all the drugs that you take, make sure that you also inform them if you're taking nutritional supplements as well.
So the patient should actually get involved here and be proactive with the doctor.
The best possible thing is to actually just have a lunchbox, a briefcase, whatever you have. Take your medicines with you to the doctor and say, here they are. I had a guy the other day, did a wonderful thing. He didn't want to bring all his medicines out, so he just took his iPhone, lined them all up, took a picture. He said, oh, Doc, I have my medicines. They're right here. Shows me the picture. Actually, the quality was good enough. I could read the names of all the drugs.
Wow.
Quickly look at it. And it's, the cardiologist over there gave me this drug, and the emergency room over there gave me that drug. It's very helpful to be able to put that whole picture together.
And when you see those drugs, then is it you that would ask, by the way, are you eating a lot of green leafy vegetables? Are you taking vitamin supplements? Because you would know, the person, we might not know that could be a problem.
Right. And what we can do is actually, we often, we don't have to actually know it, which is fortunate because there's so many interactions. But if we enter these things into our computer record, the computer can actually help us, and
That's
the computer can look for those interactions. It's also important to talk to your doctor about, do I still need to take all of these medications?
That's good too.
We get into a series of situations where people get a medicine every time they go to the doctor, but nobody ever stops medicines. And pretty soon they're on too many.
Maybe we can follow up on that next time.
You bet. Thank
Thanks,
you very
Doctor.
much.
Great information. Medications are supposed to protect our health and make us feel better. But sometimes when they interact with other medicines or even food or vitamin supplements or herbals, they can become dangerous. How can you protect yourself? Start by giving Metro Health a call. And for more help, use the information coming up next.
To learn more, call the Metro Health Senior Health and Wellness Center at 216-778-8087 or log on to www.metrohealth.org. Want more Metro Health medical information? Be sure to tune in to WTAM 1100 Radio each Saturday morning at 7 for Metro Health and You, hosted by Dr. Christine Alexander. Next, you're registered for Retirement 101. But first, some may say this beloved tennis pro dropped the ball by setting aside the game for retirement at the age of 26. Do you know who aced his last serve at this early age? We'll give you the advantage of the answer when we return.
The newest masterpiece at the Cleveland Museum of Art is the Cleveland Museum of Art, with a soaring light-infused atrium, completely redesigned galleries for every work of art, and the culinary splendor of provenance. These are just part of your magnificent new Cleveland Museum of Art. Come see Cleveland's masterpiece. Come see amazing.
The first rock star of professional tennis, Bjorn Borg, hung up his racket at the tender age of 26, just a few short years after becoming the first player to net more than $1 million in a single season.
What's the right age for retirement? 55, 65, 75? Social Security and maybe the company you work for will tell us the age we can begin drawing out funds. But the real question is, can we afford to retire? Jim Lineweaver, who's never shy of retiring when it comes to sharing his expertise, is here to help us find an answer. Jim's a certified financial planner with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
My pleasure.
So, Jim, step one, you have a number of steps, 4 questions to ask. We need answers to determine if we can afford to retire.
Right.
Step
First one is just a budget. What am I spending on a monthly basis? And this is where people are like, oh, you got to make me come up with a budget. Even you don't want it to be tedious, but just look at the last 6 months of expenses. Not only your fixed expenses, your utility bills and electric and everything, but gas, and put some entertainment and travel in there. You want to have fun when you're in retirement, so build
Absolutely.
it into your budget.
And health insurance costs and all the things that are going to be coming up.
Exactly.
All right. Second question to ask.
The
Second
one is, what income am I going to have coming in? You know, I might have Social Security coming in, and maybe I have a pension. So those are your fixed costs that will be coming in on a monthly basis. And then you're going to have to figure out, you know, from the investment side, how much you may need to supplement some things, and that's actually the next step.
All right. I think we have a step 3, which puts the things together, and I think you're going to walk us through that a little bit.
We will. We actually have an example for your
That's
viewers,
very
because it's
helpful.
usually the best thing to do.
Okay.
So what we did is we looked at a couple people that actually, with Joe and Mary, that actually have living expenses somewhere around $4,000 a month. And what they do is, with Social Security coming in at about $2,200, pension coming in at $1,000, they're obviously coming in about $800 short. Sam and Alice, on the other hand, have $8,000, spending a lot more money on a monthly basis, $2,200 a month coming in from Social Security or 0 pension, so they're falling short $6,800 a month. That's quite a bit to make up.
All right. So you do step 3, you determine, you take your income, your costs, you see where you stand, and you see if there's a plus or a minus. In your example, there was a minus in both cases.
Exactly.
All right. What's step 4?
The next one is if you do have a shortfall there, how is it going to be made up? You got to look at your investments, your CDs, your retirement plans, all these things that you've invested into over your lifetime. You're now going to have to start turning that switch on to get an income.
So you'll have to make up that deficit from your assets.
Exactly.
All right.
And not to get into too much confusion with your viewers, what we did is we came up with an example as well with the same couple. And what we did is Joe and Mary have $250,000 in assets set aside. They need that $800 a month. We're not going to talk about rates of return in this example, but if you just divide the $800 by the $250,000, they have about 312 months to live on, or 26 years. On the other hand, Sam and Alice, more set aside because they don't have that pension, $600,000, but they're taking out $6,800 a month. Even sounds like a big number,
right,
for the $600,000 set aside, but at 88 months, it's only going to last them about 7 years. They're going to run into a problem.
So the one thing that's not considered there is when you said rate of return, that means your interest, your dividends, your investment benefits.
Yeah, and that's a delicate balance because, putting in a savings account making less than 1% isn't going to do it, but risking it in the stock market may not be the solution either. So you got to really make sure you put a good plan together.
You made it look simple in the example. It's really not so simple.
It's not.
And because it's not so simple, you're going to provide more information to people through some seminars.
Yeah, we're going to go through a lot more detail at our education programs in Valley View. It's on Tuesday, March 14th at 1 o'clock, also Thursday, May 16th at 6:30. We're already getting some good attendance on this, so I'd encourage your viewers to call in quickly.
And I understand that you've got actually budget worksheets that people will be able to work through and determine their income, determine their expenses, and determine what they need to do and where they need to get the money
Exactly.
from.
We're going to have a lot of resources for people at these education programs.
That's great. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it very much.
My pleasure.
All right, Jim's 4 questions hold the answers to your retirement plans. To find out more, you have to go to one of Jim's free seminars, or you can give him a call. You can get his free budget worksheets, work through them. He'll help you out. The number's coming up next.
Find out more by calling the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Here's breaking news. Discover glass that's in a class by itself when you tour the latest exhibit at the Kent State University Museum. Expect to be blown away. The collection spans the Roman era to the 20th century and features mass-produced models to pretty perfume bottles. To pore over more information, visit www.kent.edu/museum or call 330-672-3450.
Remember when you were little and you gave your mom a homemade Mother's Day gift? It was always her favorite. At least that's what she said. Well, Creative Memories Unit leader Judy Holloway has ideas for personal gifts that are all grown up and just in time for this year's holiday. Thanks for joining us, Judy.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we have a couple weeks left till Mother's Day, and not all of us are all that creative. So you have some ideas that anybody can do, even me, right?
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
Right, let's get started.
We have lots of options here, and one of the things that's really important when you're taking photos of people you care about is everybody's inundated with messages every day, and they're not always positive. But as somebody in my family that I care about, I can take a photo of them, and these quick, easy gifts can capture something that's valuable to them. And we could start with our first option, which is our Simply Said book.
Very good.
And the way this works is we do the prompts. We have a quote here that you could answer the question. If your mother gave you a piece of advice that you really didn't like, but it turned out to be exactly the right advice you needed at the time, you can journal in that. And you can also put a photo in there of that. These Simply Said books, we have a couple different versions, some specifically for moms and some for other people in your family that you care about. These are $16 each.
Great. All right. And this is a much bigger book and looks like a bigger project, actually.
It is a bigger project, but you can actually complete it in 2 hours. What makes this a fast and fabulous option, which is the name of the album, is because it is fast to complete because it's already pre-decorated. The little rectangles on the pages, that's exactly where you put your photos.
So you take a photo and you stick it in here like this.
Absolutely.
Do you glue it, or how do you get it in here?
Of course, we have PhotoSafe adhesive that you
All
use,
right.
and the bundle that includes the PhotoSafe adhesive, the decorative supplies if you want to add some decoration to it, and the pen. That whole bundle is $69.
Okay, very good. Let's keep moving. What else do you have for us?
Our next option is the 13x9 album, and this is a $49 album. And what makes this really fast is you could actually, it's a pocket album, so you actually slide your photos into it.
So this one, you just take your pictures and put it in. This is more like the standard old-fashioned photo albums that we know about.
But one of the things that's very passionate when you're trying to encourage people is to make sure you journal. So we have some cute journal paper that you can actually slide into the pocket itself.
Okay.
Because you want to make sure you talk to what's special about the person.
That's really what's nice. It's not just the pictures, but it's what you write about it.
Absolutely.
And speaking of writing, you have some, looks like professional books that I could buy in a store. Tell us about how that relates to us doing something creatively.
This is all done on your computer at home. And the software, you can actually download it from my website for 30 days for free. And we have some very simple solutions where you will just grab a picture, drop it into a frame, and then you upload this to our website, and the mailman brings it to you in a couple weeks.
Easy as pie.
Easy as pie.
As long as you have kids that know how to do the computer, right?
Or you can call me and I can help you.
Thank you very much. This is really helpful. These are great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but words themselves can pack a wallop too. Follow Judy's advice. Put them together to create memorable and meaningful gifts for Mother's Day. And if you need help, don't call me. Call Judy. Her number's 330-472-0012, or you can find her online at www.mycmsite.com/jholloway. We'll be right back.
Next, celebrating the beauty of nature. It's time to get up and go. An exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hello, I'm Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're here to show you how to do a basic towel stretch. This stretch is going to stretch your triceps and even help warm up your shoulders, okay? This is a great stretch to do before or after physical activity. You ready to show them how it's done?
I am ready.
Let's do it. We're going to start by holding the towel in the right fist at the end. We're simply going to swing that towel around our back here, and we're going to grab with the other side and just give a nice gentle tug. You don't want to pull too hard. Just go with what your body will let you do. Make sure you keep your head up and straight. Excellent. Let's go ahead and try the other side now. Switch, hold the end of the towel with the left hand, swing it around, grab with the right, and give a gentle little tug. Excellent. How you feeling?
This is easy.
I see you're getting warmed up over there. Good job, buddy. Hold for a 5 to 10 count 2 to 3 times. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
We have a wonderful attraction right here in Northeast Ohio, Stan Hewitt Hall and Gardens. The hall is a grand mansion, but there's a whole lot more. The outdoors are as important as the indoors. Gail Marie Ford is Vice President of Outreach and Communications at Stan Hewitt Hall and Stan Hewitt Hall Gardens, and she's here to give us a peek at this marvelous community asset inside and out. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell us a little bit, start with the Seiberlings. That's whose house this was, right?
That's correct. When they built the house in 1912 or through 1915, F.A. Seiberling and his wife Gertrude were the ones who built the house. F.A. Seiberling was actually the co-founder of Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company with his brother C.W. And
so he had a little bit of money.
He had just a little bit. He was doing quite well, actually. And when they decided to build the house, they hired 2 different architects, one to actually construct the house and another one to construct the gardens, and to be certain that the outside of the house was part of the inside of the house. And you'll see that throughout the manor.
And
as you tour
you have
it.
a theme this year for the visitors. a passion for the land.
That's
Tell
correct.
us about that.
Well, it's really emblematic of how the Cyberlings chose to enjoy life. They really appreciated the fresh air and the outdoors and all the recreational activities.
And there's a beautiful picture of it, right?
Absolutely, and they made sure that the outdoors is very much a part of the indoors as well. And we'll be demonstrating that this year through our exhibits in the Manor House, one titled Inside Out, Outside In, Health, Fitness, and the Bounty of the Land.
That's a golf outfit?
That's a golf outfit from the 1920s era, and you'll see many more examples of sporting equipment that was popular, of the sports that were popular during that time. Ice skating and golfing and tennis, for example.
Very good. So now you're very good with preservation at Stan Hewitt and restoration, and so this year you've transformed something called the Palm House. What's that?
That's correct. That's certainly part of our mission, restoration and preservation. So the Palm House is a section of the Corbin Conservatory, and we have transformed it this year into a really relaxing tropical oasis, if you will.
Is that a picture of it
That's
there?
a picture of the exterior of the Palm House. On the inside, you'll see we've created new pathways, and we have living gardens on the walls, and a great fountain. And it's really another example of the way that we bring the outside into the indoors at the estate.
All right, and do you have some things planned to bring guests from the indoors to the outside?
We certainly do. We're introducing new exhibits this year. One is called At Home with Nature. It's going to be in the gardens, and it's really just colossal installations of a beehive, of spider's web. We have a critter's hollow, and also a bird's nest. And so it's really a way for children, and actually children of all ages, to really enjoy the gardens and to explore the habitats and to crawl around and in and through them and just have a lot of fun. Also, we're bringing back the butterflies. Beauty in Flight, Butterflies of North America, will be taking up residence again in a habitat just adjacent to the Corbin Conservatory. There's a beautiful butterfly garden inside.
Wow.
We've created some educational programming around it, which is very informal, but it allows our guests to really understand the life cycle of a butterfly and how they impact the environment.
Butterflies fly around the inside of
They
that house,
do.
and people can walk in?
And they can walk in and enjoy. We have many different varieties.
But they don't fly out when
No.
the people go out?
We have ways to protect against that,
All
but for the
right.
most part they do not. And we're very grateful to have help from the Metro Parks, again, serving as volunteers to help us with the educational component.
Now, I just have to clarify, is it Stan Hewitt or Stan Hewitt?
Stan Hewitt, Hall and Gardens, and Stan Hewitt stands for Stone Quarry, and that was the most prominent feature on the estate when the Cyberlings built the land, or bought the land.
Well, I've been out there. It's fabulous. I enjoy it. And thanks for all you do with it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having
My pleasure. Stan Hewitt Hall has made it easy to celebrate the spring and summer seasons indoors and out. Need to make yourself at home with more information? Use the number that's coming up next. My thanks to Gail Marie Fort for joining us today.
For more information, call Stan Hewitt Hall and Gardens at 330-836-5533 or click to www.stanhewitt.org. Next, is it time for Social Security to be retired?
Sometimes it's about beating the clock. Sometimes it's about beating fate. And sometimes it's about beating the unimaginable. But there's one opponent our team loves to beat more than any other. We love beating the odds. We are the Metro Health System. We are the proud sponsor of the comeback.
Did you miss a phone number or website? Here's your second chance, because we're going to list all of that information again. Then I'll be back to ask and answer, has Social Security outlived its usefulness? There's a heated debate going on in Washington over so-called entitlements, particularly Social Security and Medicare. Some legislators have urged that reforms be adopted to keep these programs financially secure long into the future. Others, they just want to kill the programs. So the question I want to address today is this. Has Social Security outlived its usefulness? Has it run its course? Is it now outdated? In my view, the answer is clear. Social Security has been and continues to be a vitally important program. I recently came across an eye-popping study. I'll bet you missed it because the newspapers missed or ignored it. But I almost fell off my chair when I saw this study. In Ohio, in 2011, the year of the study, the poverty rate for seniors 65 and older was about 8.1%. That was about average as far as the states go. 8.1% of seniors living in Ohio are now living in poverty. Now that itself might sound like an awfully high number, but you ain't heard nothing yet. What do you think the poverty rate would be if there was no Social Security? If people didn't get that check for $800 or $900 each month? Hold on to your seats. The poverty rate for older people in Ohio would be 48.3% without Social Security. Almost half of all people aged 65 and older would be living in poverty without the Social Security program. And just so you don't get some crazy idea of what it means to live below the poverty line, a single person with more than $10,788 annual income, a married couple with more than $13,596, they're above the poverty line. Just think about what that means. For many thousands of older Ohioans, Social Security makes the difference to put food on the table, to pay for medications, to keep the heat on during the winter. Eliminating the Social Security program would add to the costs that we all pay to provide food and health care for the poor through programs like Medicaid and food stamps. Social Security is a vitally important program to maintain financial security, dignity, and a quality of life for people as they age. So here's my plea to our elected officials in Washington. Protect Social Security. Strengthen it so it'll be solvent for decades to come. And for all of you, my viewers, write, call your elected senators and your members of Congress. Tell them that they must protect Social Security.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.budishandsolomon.com.
Thanks for joining us today. On next week's show, it's what you don't know that could hurt you. We'll reveal breaking news about breast cancer. Then, is premium life insurance the perfect investment? We'll investigate. It's almost Mother's Day, and we have a way to bring a smile to every mom's face. Plus, are the sides of your tub too tall? We'll shower you with ways to make them work. Until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.